Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on Kobe Bryant's winning mindset.
Yeah, you wonder what made him such a force?
Absolutely. We're going to uncover how he approached basketball,
And life
business, everything.
driven by this incredible focus.
And we're pulling all this from a Motiversity YouTube video.
The mindset of a winner, Kobe Bryant champions advice.
It's packed with insights.
Yeah, should be interesting.
So let's jump in.
Sounds good.
Kobe doesn't mess around. He comes out strong, saying, you want first place? Come play with me.
Yeah.
You want second place? Go somewhere else.
Talk about setting the bar high.
Right from the start.
He wasn't just about winning, though. It was deeper than that.
It was excellence.
Yeah, a total pursuit of it.
And it shows up everywhere in his life.
Yeah, which we'll see.
But he wasn't just born with his talent. He talks about watching legends.
Like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Drawing inspiration from their moves.
Their dedication, the whole thing.
He wasn't just admiring them, though.
No, he was studying them.
Like dissecting their game.
That's key.
This is huge with Kobe. He turned the world into his library.
I love that.
He was always searching for knowledge inspiration.
From the best.
And you can do this too.
Oh, yeah.
Identify the top performers in your field.
Okay.
Break down their techniques, their strategies.
Like, what are they doing differently?
Exactly what makes them stand out.
That's smart.
Take those lessons and use them yourself.
It's not just watching.
No, it's active.
You're really digging in.
Trying to understand what makes them tick.
The world is your library. I love it.
And Kobe, he was really self-aware.
Oh, yeah.
He knew his physical limitations.
Like you said, his vertical wasn't amazing.
His hands weren't huge. His speed wasn't anything crazy.
And yet he's one of the greatest.
Right.
It's incredible.
It really is. So how did he bridge that gap?
Yeah, how'd he do it?
Relentless self-improvement, he flat out said.
What'd he say?
I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more.
He turned those weaknesses around.
Absolutely dedicated himself to those skills.
So he studied the game like crazy.
Yeah, the nuances, the angles, always looking to get better.
That's the power of hard work right there.
For sure, pushing beyond what you think you're capable of.
But that intense focus on improvement.
It ties into how he handled setbacks, too.
Because he didn't let them get to him.
He was remarkable at detaching from that emotional sting of failure.
Turning it into a positive.
A learning opportunity.
Like that story about shooting air balls in a game.
Most people would just be mortified.
Totally a hit to the ego.
But Kobe's reaction was different.
He didn't dwell on the embarrassment.
He wanted to understand why it happened.
Right, he said it was fatigue.
From the NBA schedule.
Yeah, messing with his leg strength.
And he immediately changed his training.
So he turned a perceived failure
into a chance to get better.
That's where his mindset really shines.
He didn't get stuck in the negative.
He was like, okay, how can I learn from this and get better?
That proactive approach is so valuable.
It's a total game changer.
You can apply that too. Shift your perspective.
Instead of asking, why me?
Exactly. Ask, what can I learn from this?
Obstacles become stepping stones.
That's the idea.
Powerful stuff. But he didn't do it all alone, right?
He wasn't afraid to ask for help.
He went straight to the top.
He called it Goat Mountain.
Seeking mentorship from legends.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird.
He knew he didn't have all the answers.
It's a reminder that even the best can benefit from guidance.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
Find mentors. Study those who inspire you.
But is there a risk of relying too much on others?
That's a great question. You gotta balance seeking guidance with developing your own judgment.
So how do you do that?
Absorb the knowledge. Don't just blindly follow.
Okay.
Analyze their advice, adapt it to your own situation.
You're not copying them.
No, you're building on their wisdom.
Adding fuel to your own fire.
I like that.
But this level of dedication...
It takes sacrifice.
Kobe was open about how basketball impacted his personal life.
Yeah, he admitted that his focus came at a cost.
Especially with relationships.
He said everything in between is lost.
Talking about how the game affected his connections with friends and family.
It's a reminder that extraordinary goals often involve trade-offs.
It's a tough reality.
It is. We have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to sacrifice?
And what are the consequences?
Exactly.
But even with those sacrifices, Kobe's commitment to performance never wavered.
He had that story about playing through back pain against Vince Carter.
And the Toronto Raptors.
He said, my back can bother me any other day, but not today.
That's mental toughness right there.
It is. Think about how this applies to your life.
Okay.
Are you willing to push through adversity?
When it's tough physically and mentally.
Yeah, finding that inner strength to perform at your best even when it's hard.
The Mamba Mentality in action.
It's more than just basketball, though.
Right? It's a way of
It
life.
goes into his business ventures, too.
He is a successful investor and entrepreneur.
Yeah, and he approached business with that same drive.
Strategic and focused.
He had specific criteria for investments.
Like what?
He looked at the business model,
Okay.
assessed what he could contribute,
Makes sense.
analyzed barriers to entry,
Smart.
and scrutinized the company's culture and leadership.
He wasn't just throwing money around.
Not at all. He was analytical,
Thoughtful.
making sure it aligned with his values and vision.
Wow, that same commitment to excellence shows up everywhere.
It really does. He invested with purpose.
Looking for companies with a strong culture.
Passionate leadership, a clear vision for the future.
Those things matter to him.
They did. They resonated with his own values.
It's like a thread connecting everything.
His basketball, his business, even his personal life.
And this focus on culture.
It's how he ran his own company, too.
Kobe Inc.
He went from player to running a studio.
Big change.
His focus shifted to empowering his team.
To push their limits.
He called it a culture of obsession.
Encouraging them to constantly strive for more.
To challenge themselves.
So it wasn't just about his own drive.
No, he wanted to instill that same fire in his team.
He didn't want complacency.
He created an environment where people took risks,
Learned from mistakes.
pushed beyond their comfort zones,
It's a culture of growth.
and self-assessment,
Always pushing boundaries.
whether it's personal limits or the limits of those around him.
And one of the most powerful examples of this is his Achilles injury.
A devastating blow to his career
But true to form, Kobe defined his own terms.
for stepping away from the game.
He was so strong about it.
Yeah, he said, "This obstacle cannot define me. It's not going to cripple me. It's not going to be responsible for me stepping away from the game that I love. I'm going to step away on my own terms."
Wow, a defining moment.
It really shows his resilience.
And his spirit.
Even with a career-altering injury,
He wouldn't let it define him.
he focused on what he could control,
His mindset
his recovery.
and his future.
It's powerful how we can choose how we respond to adversity.
He kept that sense of agency even when things were really rough.
That's important.
But it's bigger than just resilience.
Right.
It's about defining success on your own terms.
Not letting outside stuff dictate your path.
Exactly.
Setbacks are going to happen,
That's life.
but they don't have to stop you.
You adapt.
Find new ways forward,
Keep going for those goals.
even if things have changed.
And this connects to something else we saw with Kobe.
What's that?
His ability to compartmentalize.
To control his emotions.
He talked about Maximus Decimus Meridius
From Gladiator,
to describe how he got into that focused state on the court.
what did he say?
I had to create an alter ego to help me compartmentalize. It was a game face. It was a persona. When I stepped on that court, I became him,
Wow.
like a switch flipped.
It let him channel those emotions,
Not suppress them.
not use them for peak performance.
Think about that in your own life.
Are there times you need to step into a different role?
A more focused
A determined version,
It's like a separate mental space
where you have the tools you need.
for that specific challenge.
Well, that's it. You recognize that different situations.
Call for different versions of ourselves.
We can learn from Kobe
Develop our own mental strategy.
to handle those changes.
It's fascinating stuff.
It is.
But Kobe's story wasn't just about winning no matter what.
There was more to it.
It was about pursuing excellence.
Constantly growing.
On and off the court,
He wanted to inspire others,
creating opportunities.
for himself and those around him.
He was more than just a player,
He was a storyteller,
a businessman,
a philanthropist.
a dad.
His commitment to excellence went beyond the game.
And that Mamba mentality shines through.
It's a mindset that goes beyond any one field.
It's about setting big goals.
Working hard, never giving up.
No matter the obstacles,
It's dedication
a pursuit of knowledge.
and the ability to bounce back from setbacks.
So what does this all mean for our listener?
How can they use this?
Kobe's journey has a lot of lessons.
For anyone who wants to succeed,
It's about having a growth mindset,
seeing successes and failures as chances to learn.
surrounding yourself with the right people,
People who challenge you, inspire you,
push beyond your comfort zone,
always trying to improve.
never settling,
Find your own goat mountain
learn from the best,
and know that greatness requires sacrifice.
dedication and commitment.
It's not always easy,
There will be setbacks.
but it's worth it.
Kobe's legacy shows us the power of that relentless spirit,
That thirst for knowledge,
believing in yourself.
to achieve the extraordinary,
We all have that potential.
to reach for greatness,
Define our own paths.
leave our mark on the world.
It's inspiring.
It is. His story reminds us that we can all dream big.
And work hard to make those dreams happen.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Kobe's mindset, what's the big takeaway?
I think it's that success isn't about some magic formula you're born with.
It's not about talent.
Right. It's mindset.
The choices we make.
Kobe's first place or nothing. That wasn't just for basketball.
It was everything.
A philosophy.
He lived it.
Yeah, he was always pushing himself
To learn, to improve.
to overcome those obstacles.
He embraced the hard work.
And he had that vision,
A
a
goal.
goal.
That kept him going.
He knew where he was headed.
And he was willing to do what it took.
But it wasn't all solo.
Right. He knew the power of a team.
Working together.
Surrounding yourself with people who are on the same mission.
Sharing that passion, that commitment.
He created that culture.
That was obsession.
Not just for himself.
But for his team, too.
He pushed them
To be their best.
to challenge themselves.
No settling.
And maybe most importantly,
He was resilient.
he didn't shy away from
He
challenges,
faced them head on.
never letting them define him.
Or stop him.
He turned failures into lessons,
Analyzed them, adapted.
came back stronger.
That's something we can all learn from.
It is. How do we deal with setbacks?
Do we let them crush us? Or do we use them to grow?
It's a choice.
How we respond.
Keep moving forward.
So think about it.
What needs that first place or nothing energy in your life right now?
What goals are you passionate about?
What can you do today to start chasing those goals?
With that same dedication that Kobe had.
It's a powerful question.
It is.
We hope this deep dive has given you a glimpse into that champion mindset.
And that it inspires you.
To unlock your own potential.
To embrace challenges.
To chase your own version of greatness.
Remember, success doesn't happen by chance.
It's choices.
Hard work.
Belief in yourself.
You can achieve amazing things.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Kobe Bryant's winning mindset.
It's been great.
Until next time, keep learning
Keep growing.
and keep striving for your own first place.